In my high school, there's no 11th grade Algebra 2 class. It has been replaced with advanced video game design. Students walk the halls with laptops under their arms, and they collaborate with one another to combine art, graphic design, story development, marketing, and mathematics to create a functional video game. In my high school, quadratic functions will not be taught by route memorization, boring lessons, or worksheets. Instead, students will study how Mario is able to jump realistically using quadratic functions. And they will use transformation rules to make their video game characters jump as high and as far as they want. They will also use quadratic functions to launch projectiles in their video game, such as rockets into the air or cannons at the enemy. Students will also connect how science principles such as gravity are represented by a negative a value, which makes a parabola go up and then come back down. Instead of students learning how to plot random coordinate points on a graph, they will instead draw video game backgrounds or characters on graph paper and determine what coordinate points are needed to make their vision and artwork come to life. Students will then input their points into the computer software and watch how each point connects to one another to create their design. So now my students are mathematicians and they are now graphic artists. In my high school, students won't be asked to memorize what an integer is, but instead learn how to turn integers into a binary code, which they can use to store information in their game. So now my students are computer programmers. In my high school, students will learn how to use equations and linear programming to determine how much it will cost to produce a game. They will also learn how to determine how many copies have to be sold for a company to break even, and then how many have to be sold for the company to earn a profit. So now my students are marketing associates. In my high school, students learn trigonometric functions such as sine, cosine, and tangent. And they also learn the Pythagorean theorem by finding the distance between objects in the game. So this will help students learn where objects need to be placed, such as different levels, tokens, doorways, extra speed, anything that they can come up with. So now my students are designers. In my high school, students will become researchers. They will determine how they want their game to look. They will research techniques they can use to create it, what storyline they want to follow, and how to go about putting their game on the market. Students will also work together to host test runs of their games and have other students peer review their work and provide feedback. At the end of the year, students will work on selling and publishing their game, whether that be to the school or to platforms such as Google Play Store and the Apple iStore. In my high school, the teacher is no longer the sole provider of knowledge. Students will learn from local graphic designers, computer programmers, business owners, marketing specialists, video store owners, and local gamers. Students will turn to books, internet research, and outside professionals to answer the questions that they are curious about and that they feel are important. My high school doesn't exist yet, but one day it will.